just doesn't tell you that can be really helpful to know. So today I gathered 10 of my personal favorite things I wish I knew when I started playing, or things I wish I started to do sooner. Hopefully I can help at least one person. So let's get right into it.
Let's do this.
Number 1. Archer Queen's range. Have you ever been attacking a base? Well, I mean, obviously you have, you play Clash of Clans. You have it all mapped out in your head. You start dropping things, but then the Archer Queen is back at it again. She completely ignores what you wanted her to attack. This is due to the Archer Queen's range that a lot of people overlook or don't even know about. Because let's be honest, who's even looking at the stats, am I right? But even if you did, you wouldn't know anyways, because the stats are nowhere to be found in the game. So what's the range? Well, it's 5 tiles. What that means is if your Archer Queen is outside a wall where a building is, the wall is 1 tile. In this case, the building is 3, so now you have 4. And the building you're trying to destroy has to be in the 5th tile. If it isn't, the Archer Queen won't reach it. That's why bases have these weird gaps and compartments so that it's hard to reach certain things. Luckily, it's pretty easy to count these tiles in Clash of Clans. I mean, the grass is literally squares. Simply count them the next time you're playing an attack. And don't forget to count stuff like walls. This is also useful for when you're building a base and trying to decide if the Archer Queen could reach your precious Dark Elixir. And if you don't do all that counting you could also use a skeleton trap as a guide. The skeleton trap's range is 5 tiles, so as long as what you're trying to defend is in that white line, the Archer Queen can indeed reach it. Back it up a bit and all of a sudden it's out of range. However, you should know that the Grand Warden has a range of 7, and so sometimes you'll want to take that into account. Number 2. Upgrade your Barbarians and Archers. Let's be real, a lot of us don't use Barbarians and Archers much anymore, and you've probably even stopped upgrading them. Rush Barbarians and Archers, who cares, right? Who's even checking? But if you choose to skip over an upgrade, you don't want that to be the Barbarians and Archers, and here's why. The Barbarians and Archers level in a lab is the same level that your Barbarian King and Archer Queen will deploy with their abilities. So what's the point of upgrading the ability then? Well, it isn't the troops, that's for sure. It's just the stats of the ability. Everything but the troop level. So make sure to upgrade those damn Barbarians and Archers even if you don't use them anymore, because your hero's ability will improve. I don't think the game ever tells you this, which is very surprising. Number 3. Upgrade troops even if you don't use them. I was always the one to max my base out before moving on, at least after Town Hall 9. But let's not talk about that. But there's always been one exception for me, the lab. I always told myself that if I don't use the troop, then why the f would I upgrade it? You know, this worked for a while until I ended up as a Town Hall 12 with level 1 miners. To be fair, I still don't give a shit about miners, but what if I wanted to donate them? What if I decided I wanted to try an army that uses miners, and mine are only level 1? I've learned my lesson way too many times, and for that reason I've been working on maxing troops that I don't even use, because you never know when you're gonna need it. And you don't want to limit yourself by only upgrading certain troops. I did that for years. I basically upgraded everything for Go Wipe, and then all the other armies became so weak, I didn't even use them. If I hadn't ignored some troops, I would have never had to play catch up, but here I am trying to speedrun the damn Yeti to max level, because as it turns out, the Yeti absolutely slaps. So don't do it. Number 4. Trophies don't matter. For a while, when I started playing, it seemed like the goal was to get good and climb trophies. It's what all the cool YouTubers were doing when I was 15, so I wanted to do the same thing. There wasn't much to do in Clash of Clans in 2014 anyways. It was pretty bare bones at the time. You either farm or push, or stop playing. Well, times have changed a lot. I'm not even gonna get started with the amount of things you can do in Clash of Clans. And unless you're trying to complete and achieve reason to push trophies, once you've gotten those gems you wanted and flexed for a little bit, you'll probably never care about trophies again. And that's completely fine. Trust me.